this video, we will summarize the Code of Conduct of Tourism. We will highlight key principles that promote responsible and sustainable tourist practices, such as respecting local cultures and minimizing environmental impact. Understanding these principles help stakeholders foster an ethical tourism industry and enhance the benefit for host communities. Article 1, which is entitled Tourism Contribution to Mutual Understanding and Respect Between People and Society, highlights the importance of tourism in fostering mutual understanding and respect among diverse cultures. It emphasizes respecting the social and cultural traditions of host communities, including minorities and indigenous peoples. This article underscores the need for tourists to behave responsibly and for public authorities to ensure their safety. It also calls for educating tourists about health and security risks and condemns any act of violence or threats against tourists. Article 2, which is entitled Tourism as a Vehicle of Individual and Collective Fulfillment, underscores the significance of tourism as a means of professional and communal satisfaction. It promotes gender equality, human rights, and the protection of vulnerable groups. This article condemns the exploitation of individuals, particularly sex exploitation, and calls for stringent efforts to combat such practices. It also advocates for the inclusion of tourism education in curricula to highlight its benefits and risks. Article 3, which is entitled Tourism, a Factor of Sustainable Development, focuses on the role of tourism in promoting sustainable development. It stresses the importance of conserving resources and minimizing waste while encouraging sustainable tourism practices. This article calls for the protection of ecosystems, biodiversity, and endangered wildlife, and suggests imposing limitations on tourist activities in sensitive areas to preserve natural habitats. It also recognizes the positive impact of nature, tourism, and ecosystems when done responsibly. Article 4, which is entitled Tourism as a Use of Cultural Heritage of Mankind and Contributor to its Enhancement, emphasizes the responsibility of tourism to protect and enhance cultural heritage. It highlights the need of tourism activities to respect and preserve artistic, archaeological, and cultural sites. The article advocates for a use of financial resources from cultural sites visits to keep and develop these heritage sites. It also encourages the survival and flourishing of traditional cultural products, crafts, and folklore. Article 5, which is entitled Tourism as a Beneficial Activity for Host Countries and Communities, highlights tourism's positive effects on host countries, promoting local involvement to share economic, social, and cultural benefits. It calls for policies that improve residents' living standards and integrate tourism in the local economy, emphasizing the need of environmental impact studies and community engagement by tourist professionals. Article 6, which is entitled Obligations of Stakeholders in Tourism Development, outlines the responsibility of stakeholders in tourism development, emphasizing transparency, safety, and cultural respect. It highlights the need for accurate information and security for tourists, as well as the role of governments in informing citizens about travel risks and the media in providing balanced information. Article 7, which refers to right to tourists, asserts that access to travel and leisure is a fundamental right for all individuals. It argues that tourism is an extension of the right to rest and leisure and should be free from unnecessary obstacles. This article promotes social tourism initiatives to ensure accessibility for all, including family, youth, students, senior and disability tourism, which is very, very important. Article 8 and Article 9 are complementary because they address rights of workers and entrepreneurs in the tourism industry. Both articles emphasize the right of workers and entrepreneurs in the tourism industry, stressing the need for adequate social protection, training, and job security, especially for seasonal workers. Both articles advocate for reducing legal and administrative barriers to tourist activities and promote international cooperation and experience sharing among tourist professionals. The last article, which is Article 10, and deals with implementation of the principle of the Global Code of Ethics in Tourism, emphasizes the importance of this cooperation among public and private stakeholders to implement and monitorize the principles of the Global Code of Ethics. It highlights the role of international institutions and non-governmental organizations in promoting sustainable tourism. This article suggests resolving any dispute through the World Committee of Tourism Ethics to ensure fair and objective resolution.